madness. What? Oh my God, Spark. Here we are. Hi, welcome to the Open Heart, Open Eye, where I show up here and do some offerings, depending on what everybody needs. The name I'm going by is Christine, Love Evolve Energy, Ms. Marguerite, and you can find me at the ticker tape info there. And I believe there's a whole bunch of info above or below, depending on what platform you are coming to me through today. Got a little meh, phlegm for clumptiness. So, welcome. Welcome, replay watchers. Welcome, crickets. Let's check in as we begin here. Let's check in. People show up or they don't. It's all kinds of a mix melange here. I also want to say hi and welcome to everybody that's stopping by, usually on replay, but sometimes live, usually on replay from the Light Workers Consult. Um, Jesus, Ashley, why is that so difficult? Uh, Lightworkers Intuitive Consulting, that's what it is. So hi, for all of you newbies there, welcome to me. And what's going down here? So as you know, what I've been doing, and this is usually how I begin the Friday morning sessions. The Friday morning may change to an evening. We'll see if we want to do some dance parties. Just did a dance party last night with a close compadre of mine. These are one of the offerings I do, and how they go, I just sort of warm up and say hi to people who show and sort of do some housekeeping at the beginning. What's going on, if there's any announcements to make, some shout outs to anybody that's showing up, like the Cricks. Hey, Cricks. And replay watchers, etc., etc. And then we'll do a couple of different things. Sometimes there's a theme that's arising that I will glean from the people that are here. Sometimes there's an impulse for card pulls, for a group card pull to assess the energies. Let me make sure. Yep, it sounds like this is working. So I'm just going to go with it is. Pardon me, pardon me. And then we'll go into a little bit of centering prayer. You're a Paul Panagore fan, big fan of Paul Panagore. He's a multi-tradition, non-traditional, rebellious meditation connect with divine source meditation teacher and counselor. So we'll do a little bit of that, or an energy, a group energy clearing, a guided meditation, something like that. And then we will move into, this is the last part, some flow. If people need energy healings, which is really my specialty, or readings, which is part and parcel of that, or some kind of intuitive card pull or something else that comes up, we'll see. Sometimes I work with colors. Doing a lot of painting practice these days. Speaking of painting practice, hello there, Sheila. How's the mandala going? And how's the everything going? So it's anything can happen day, which is really what I ought to call this Friday offering. Anything can happen day towards the end. Let's take a vote here. Crix, you vote with me, however you need to vote. Anybody else who feels like voting, if I am thinking of doing this still on Fridays after hours, later, cocktail hour, as you call it, before you're gonna, pre-disco nap, if you're gonna go out later that night, in whatever form, online form that is. So post dinner ish, I'm working East Coast hours. So in the evening ish, we'll see how that goes. That ends up being for my overseas peeps, like night owls, insomniacs time. That's, way midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning time. So that may be hard for those people, but for, uh, you know, the North American continent, it may work out quite well. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But if anybody has a preference, let me know. So you may have seen, I believe I posted it here. Definitely was posted on my YouTube channel and my new podcast. Did I even put the link? I don't know. Somebody let me know if I put the link there because then I'm going to have to go back and do some homework for myself. Linkage. Linkage. Can we just breathe? I'm feeling the need to really clear my throat and breathe. So give me a sec. There we go. My new inaugural podcast, I did a little bit of assessment of what's coming down the pike in the now space and what's going to be happening the next weeks, the next until the new year, until January 2022 really starts kicking in. What's been going on and what we can anticipate, what we can expect the ocean to be like, so we know which surfboard to take out of the shed. Are you going to be on your paddleboard? Maybe for some of you. But for some of us, we're gonna need that surfboard with the really long, I don't know what that fin is called, the really long fin on the back just to stabilize us a little bit more through the chaos. Welcome today to full moon eclipsing. So if the new moon in Scorpio weren't enough, we're just going to get into the corners a little bit. We're just going to really go into the shadow of the shadow, the depths of the depth. There's something about moonlight that sheds light upon that which is in the darkness. There's something about the really creepalish vibe when it's an eclipse. And granted, this is going to be when many people it's already after dark, you're already winding down, you have to look for it. You have to really be awake and alert for this kind of energy. I don't profess to be an astrologer, and so I don't want to unpack that overly. It's not my main vibe. It's not my main giggle-ish. So I don't want to go too far in. I'll read it energetically and I'll offer what I can understand with that. So, I'm just looking at my connectivity. Let me make sure that, hold on. This may shift things. All right. That ought to be a bit better. I don't know. I'm getting really mixed. Yeah, there we go. Mixed messages about my connectivity. It looks amazeballs on my laptop here and kind of funkalish on some of my other indicators. So that's a whole lot of words there, people. A whole lot of words. And that ends up being a little bit how I roll when I move into things here. I'm feeling the rockiness for sure. I'm just myself coming out of some interesting times where I really, early in the week, really dipped into, I opened Pandora's box and I looked in. Hey, Lori, what's going on, lady? I looked in just to see what was there. And there's something about, I want to explain something, and maybe that's a little bit of the theme here. I'm going to talk about belief and diving in wholeheartedly in order to really experience something. It's suspending belief about things. So, for those of you that I'm only seeing my Facebook feed right now, I'm not seeing the YouTube feed. So, you may be joining me on the tube that is you or on the book that is face. Uh, I I might be able to check on the tube that is you. So, for those of you that are joining, and just so you know, there's a little bit of delay on the device I have here. In a little bit, in about maybe 10 minutes or less, I'm going to move into energy clearings, energy readings, pulling some cards, doing some mediumship, doing some spirit guidance and intuitive readings. So that happens towards the end. What I want to say about that, if you want, if you're here to soak in and you want a little zhuzh and extra extra, write something in the comments. I love emojis. Give me some emojis and let me know what you might need. If that's not you today, that's cool. You might want to hang back and somebody else will arrive, and what their message is may resonate for you. And that's how you receive what you need. Somebody else may need a little bit of an energy healing, and what's coming through for them may be exactly what you need. And so your receptivity will be a little bit more in the back seat of the lowrider. You're just chilling back there and feeling the rhythm and the groove, and that's your receptive mode. Really effective, not to be understated. And so that. Take how you will, do how you will. Really, these offerings seem somewhat diverse. And if you go to my website, you'll see that I'm paring down quite a bit now w- because I'm into holiday season and I have my own holiday baking, seasonal baking project that comes to the fore in November, December, a little bit of January, a little bit of February. And so some of my energies will be going more specifically there. And that's when I'm doing a lot of my planning time for the online retreats that are coming up in the spring and the summer and then the fall. So a lot of those announcements, I'm pre-announcing them now. What they are specifically doesn't really emerge until January, say. Often meditation based. And what I'm getting now is that I have to revisit the heart practices. We did a week long heart practices looking at the different immeasurable qualities of the heart through meditation and through personal journeying and exploration about 2 years ago. That's what we did. What I'm being called to do now, it'll form, everybody, it'll form. We'll see what arises. What I'm getting now, because I'm doing a lot more of the co-creative flow with my meditation practice, is that I think we're going to be working with color, coloring the heart practices. So, yeah, I'm working with paint and you can layer paint, but an exploration through these four qualities of your own heart experience as a way of cultivating and a way of manifesting through color, through the creative action, the co creative action of cultivation. Pardon me. Holy guacamole chips. So that's one of the retreats. We may just do a weekend because that's kind of intense. Over a week, a lot arises. So that's coming down the pike. Let's get back to the theme, shall we? Belief babes. If you know my compatriot Nicole Powers, been working with her a bit. She has this whole online Facebook page, Belief Babes. Plug it in, check it out. Nicole Powers, Belief Babes, little plug for her, where she really dives in depth into this. But let me unpack that just a bit. Somebody may need to hear this. Cricks, I know you need to hear this. All y'all need to hear this. Need, want, desire. You tell me. I'm feeling some energies come in. Uh, hold on, everybody. I've let me just go on to this belief thing over here. As a modern postmodern contemporary human who knows science, who knows everything that is available, there can be something old-fashioned and perhaps a hesitation when you go into the magics, when you go into your Wiccan spell work, when you go to an energy healer, an intuitive reader. Here's how this works, people. Here's how this works. For the energy work, the spell work to be really and deeply, truly effective, there's a suspension of belief within the modern mind, suspending science, suspending that, and diving in wholeheartedly with the what if mind, the I don't know awareness, the potential, and diving in and saying, well, what if it is possible? What if this is true? What if the magics are real? And suspending the science belief mind, engaging the belief in the what ifs, and just buying in whole hog, all the chips in. That's when something really profound and effective can happen for you. The people that come to me tend to already know this and already have this in place. I tend to not attract the skeptics. I'm way too flippant out there. There's too much intensity of energy that begins to go through. There's no time for convincing. There's no time. There is an energetic bounce, hardness and bounce off and bounce away for these humans, for these divine sparks. And there's no judgment there. That's what their divine spark needs to experience. And awesome. If they're drawn to me with some kind of curiosity, there's something in their divine spark that needs to evolve into let's play. Let's have some playfulness here and let's dive in 120% and see and have an experience. You can pick up the science mind on the other side. It's not like science doesn't exist. It does. It does. And the and. Knock the exclusionary but. The but. So that's my two senses about that. Hey, Divine Spark, Amy, what's going on, ladies? So that's the sense of the offering and just the thing I wanted to unpack a little bit. So I see people showing up here. If you were with me last year and the year before and the year before that in the Light Shine Academy Lightworkers Lab and on this page here, you know that by the halfway mark is when the readings and the offerings really start. So what I'm offering here, and some people, they don't want to meditate so much, although some people here do because they have, and I know them. And the cricks definitely do. The cricks are all about it. The cricks can get impatient too, though, I've noticed. And that's okay too. You don't have to come for the community and the yada, yada, yada that begins way at the beginning. That's okay. But if you really want that, rewind, come back and watch the replay for all that other stuff. So before I go into the cards, I think I am. Geez, why am I drawn to this? I rarely use this deck. There's going to be some group drawings from this. It's the size of a book, the Yogic Path. It is a gorgeous deck by Sahara Rose. And the themes are within the tradition of Vedanta and yogic Vedanta philosophy and practice and Hindu yoga belief system. Gorgeous, gorgeous deck. So this is where some of the group cards are going to come from. Didn't realize this was actually going to be happening, but apparently it is. And here's the book. I sometimes like to just read, particularly from this card deck. The cards are beautiful in and amongst themselves, and I can shuffle a bit, but you can also move through the deck, through the book, and move around and shuffle. Just kind of go like this, and I may land on a page, and it comes up like that, so you can see the cards that way. Not every card deck will do that for you, and really, historically, there's this private joke I have with myself that, "Oh, yeah, I'm not much of a card reader," and if I were to show you, I have about 24 decks and charms and a set of runes and hanging out over here, and I say, I don't like I'm not much of a and yet, what 2 bookshelves full of all. And I just am in the beginning stages of a course with, Minnow Pond Tarot, Chris Rack, who I adore. So, I'm gonna pull a little bit from here, and if nobody, has any desire for energy or insight, that's cool, and we'll just end there, and that's fine with me. If you find that you do, please begin to request here. Request from a place where you connect with your heart and really breathe and really go deep down and allow a request for something to arise from there. These are mini. What I can offer you are something mini. I think last time I was up here, I was up for an hour and a half. I'm just going to be up for another half hour or so now. What you will be receiving, particularly if you ask for an energy work to come your way, if you book with me a private session, this is kind of what they look like. And really now, I offer so many different things because really it's different expressions of one arising, of one thing. So you will be getting a flavor of some of the things that I offer. If it floats your boat and you're like, "Oh, yeah," and it starts to unpack for you over the days and weeks, you may wanna book a session. That may be true for you. You may want to and we're not doing a ton of meditation today. I will in the weeks to come because I believe it's important and significant. Ah. Then you may wanna join us for one of the meditation retreats coming up in 2 2. So let's do a group. Amy, I see your request. Let's do a group. I'm feeling like I'm taking it out. My body Deva is speaking. That's a class I just did over the summer, which is now on Podia. So if you want, it's an evergreen class now. It was an energy healing and energy technique and a teaching on the elemental nature of the body deva, and how it's expressed through the 5 elements: ether, air, fire, water, earth. So you can check that out on Podia. The link's above. Hey, Rach. Rach was so into that. She was with me a lot over the summer. but I can't do everything all the time. So if you are interested in really finding out your truth, not what somebody tells you is the truth of the fire element through your body, if you want your own self-discovery, go to Podia. Go to the Love Evolve Energy Podia. Check out the fire thing, all the ideas offered, and then go have an experience. Or don't. Go do it on your own. Dude, go do it on your own. So let's do some groups and then we'll go into the requests. I have to do a little bit more do with my right hand because I have an injury on the left. I'm working it through. 2021 is me working through some of the left side issues. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is a gorgeous card. Anahata. Anahata chakra. Anahata. Anahata. So let me organize this a little bit. Where do I put these? Do I seriously have enough? I have so many shelves here. You would think. You would think. Let's put that right there. I'm going to show you the card. Look at the ecstasy. Anahata, I could be wrong. Anahata chakra for the group. That's your crown. I could be wrong, right? It's so interesting. What I've been going through, and perhaps many people have too, is this whole doubt. There's the doubting mind that really is an element of wanting to keep me safe. It it's doubt arises as a protection mechanism to keep one safe. It's the heart chakra. See, I doubted for a reason. And that was my hesitation too, because I was feeling here at the same time. So, everybody, there's this healing of the heart, and how apropos that Miss Gay Miller has shown up as this card is arising. Look at the back of that gorgeousness, too. Oh my God. Talks about greatest potential, opening to new possibilities. That's so what's happening with the energies the next couple of weeks as well. Love heals as it flows. Your greatest potential is not something that you can mentally target. It's something that arises as you rest back and relax into the field of the heart, trusting the journey of the heart. It's not going to make sense to your thinking mind. It's aware of the possibilities the mind cannot yet envision. And when we live a heart centered life, there is no fear. Meditate on the heart openings. So that can be the color green or the color pink, depending what tradition. But if you also the color blue, coming into the heart, coming into these heart qualities, coming into these heart qualities can really begin to open you up here. It is the heart. It is. Beep. The doubt was there for a reason. I wonder, Sahasraha is the upper. So that's the group card. That's the group card that there's this. Sometimes the hardest thing to do when we're moving through new moon in Scorpio into eclipse of a full moon is to really trust, because the doubts will be in the shadows, to recapitulate, even if it's just the remembrance of recapitulation, to the trust of leaning back, the splash of leaning back into the heart. Ooh, I'm getting some teeth stuff over in my right side. So that's the message for everybody, to actively engage a connection with the heart. When is this not true? That's what I want to ask. When is this not true? Lori, I'm going to move, Lori Coppola Smith, I'm going to move into you right now. Hiya, hiya. So I'm feeling these qualities of Native. I want to say Native American Indian, but I'm feeling this vocal expression for you, Lori. And all that she has requested is anything that comes forward for a reading. She wants a reading. I'm seeing the color of silver, which is a divine feminine that has to do with activity and work, the truest work, the key to truest action and activity upon the earth within this feminine and femininity, not as definitely a softness, but not a weakness. There's this earth energy, the new grids, the sixth and beyond dimensional earth energies that can come up often have the colors that I'm seeing for you, Lori. So that may make sense for you. There's a groundedness. There's a difference between a groundedness within spirit and a groundedness through the body. We're moving into a time where those two threads, those two overlays will meet and resonate. And that makes sense for you in some way. I'm seeing earth energy and water energy at the same time. For you, Lori, I know I'm speaking abstractly, so I'm not sure if that's something of the way. Okay, so whether you're conscious of this or not, I'm getting messages coming through of a weaving the wise woman within Native American traditions. There's a guide for you coming forth, and that it's a group of guides coming forth. I'm seeing a pattern being woven with oranges and reds and whites in that with a diamond shape in the middle, Lori. And I'm feeling this rhythm as well. This is women's work. This is weaving the wise woman's way. That's a lot of W's, WWW. As serious as it can be, there's also this kind of giggle, and the message is this lighthearted. When women gather together for their wise work, there's can as well as the import and impact of the weaving together the threads of wisdom, this knowingness in a practical way that comes through in a practical way as an offering so that you know how that you serve in truth. The wisest way necessitates the energy of joy, of giggles, of silliness. And that's the messages. That's the reading that's coming through. So, as much as the reds and the oranges, so that's the lower chakra, the earth energies. And I'm looking at your sacral area now. So, that's a little bit more of an energy reading. Everybody in the future, the more specific you can be, the more specific I can be. So generally, that's the reading here. I'm seeing there's also this quality of far reaching. I keep being drawn over to the left side, and I'm seeing, Lori, for you also the surf, ocean, ocean waters, the white surf that comes in, Pacific. Um, which means peaceful, calm, peaceful, the peaceful ocean. There's something in the melee that also weaves in this higher dimensional, higher vibrational peacefulness throughout it. Lori Coppola Smith, is there anything else for her? Aho, there's still this native peoples, the hand, the as a way of connecting, the slapping hands, that they reach their hand out as a way for you to reach back in a co-creative way to connect with that. All right, Lori, I sincerely hope you know, I'm just falling off cliffs here, everybody. I'm just falling off cliffs. That's the name of the show. Just falling off cliffs. That's what came through for you. There's one final message for you, Lori, that has to do, there's this divine masculine, which really helps us structure and ground. And there's a message there of stop. So, can I have more information about it? There's a thread, a path uh, that is a side path off of the main path. And if you needed affirmation, there's a hard no there. Excuse me, there's not a hard no. The message is stop. All right, Lori, hope that was helpful. Good, it was helpful. Great, great, great. You are so very, very welcome. You're so very, very, very welcome. Oh, session for your up. Okay, Amy. Amy, I don't know if you had to bolt. I don't know if you're still here. So let me disconnect from Lori and her guides. Thank you so much. So if any of you felt that, the rolling through of Yamaya, the ocean goddess, the oceans coming through. These cards are still out. So Amy, I don't know if you wanted a card, but we might start with cards for you. I'm not sure. Ooh, uh, I'm feeling kind of this sense of urgency. So I can just do general, Amy. If you would like some energy, let me know. Just so everybody knows here, I'm not, part of my stipulation is that I do not offer energy work unless there's a specific request for it, unless somebody agrees. There needs to be an agreement because there's something about reading the energy or reading a card or mediumship or getting messages from me that there's an innate boundary there. With energy work, it's all things are possible, and so there needs to be a willingness on the part of the receiver, that would be all y'all there, to receive that, to take that in. So I am feeling cards for you, Amy, because I just glanced over here and there's a deck that it is pretty much glowing. It's glowing over here. So let me, it's telling, I'm getting right now, don't bother organizing the chaos. Is this a message for you, Amy? Just go towards the light. Okay. So energy, this is not always the case, Amy, but I'm feeling really strongly for you because I know I know how skilled you are. So if you could lay back, there's something between, I am going to do a card here between hands and heart. there's a color of white energy. Now, often white, this brilliant white light, and there's also a mist. So put some air, water, bright white light for you to relax and receive. So as I begin to read through the pick a card for you, read through the cards here, Amy, if you would just is there defined feminine energy that you work with? It almost looks like Mother Mary, only she's appearing like it's having those kind of um, shapes to her. Um, but I'm not seeing blue. She's showing up in white, super high vibration. Lean back, receive between the heart and hands. It may go other places, but that's what I'm seeing, not necessarily in a rhythmic. That's the task before you. So breathe and feel and move through that and simply trust and see what arises. I'm seeing it pool into your sacrum in the back. They want this one right away. Are there multiple here? They just say start with this. The number 3330, vulva of cider. This is a really powerful card here. And look, she's kind of doing what I just described with the energy. Can you see the electricity in her energy there? So uh, there's so much heart opening, but it's all the way through her breastplate. There are all these little multiple openings through her breastplate there. Let's see, Amy, what this card says. If I may, where's my book? That would be bizarre and interesting. If the book is not here, oh no, it's right in front of me. Oh, that was some magics. Let's look at the magics. And so this will be true for everybody. There's also the number 8 coming up, the number 161. If you want to receive this white light, you can rest kind of a leaning back, but also a little bit more propped up. So there's an aliveness through the spine. Your inner spiritual power can heal circumstances in your life in our world in ways greater than you currently realize. Journey within to gain clarity and conscious redirection of your inner energies toward what you wish to manifest. Do not try to control what's happening. Huh, that was the message way at the beginning. Instead, work to bring positive influence to bear so that you may contribute constructively towards shaping the outcome for the greatest good. I'm going to skip forward, Amy, to the healing process here and let me see if any words. I think that you're getting it. I'm seeing it pool. Even if our intentions are pure, believing we know what should happen, to whom, and when, is the working of the ego and not the soul. We may want the best, but so much is out of our control. Release, release, release within the chaos, release. Consciously connect to your breath, noticing the inhalation and exhalation, deepening and deepening this, moving towards the realm of the sacred, the spiritual field of love, white light, and blessing that is within your heart, which empowers your practice. Ooh. Christine Psychic, this is what was happening. That's all. This healing goes on to explain different ways to connect with this light. It talks about threads and interweaving and intertwining. This connects to Lori's reading, this weaving and through the threads into the darkness. If there is darkness in your life or in the heart, the rope that can enact a higher will, wrapping around the darkness, darkness is released into light. Allow the process to occur for as long as it feels good. That's the theme here. It reminds me of, I'm a big fan of the channel Paul Selig. That which, and he says, that which you hold in darkness keeps you in darkness. So this very much points at, and this is very full moon eclipse energy to bring to the light. This is a very powerful deepening, and the weaving our way forward is an advanced spiritual concept of the concept is not advanced. The concept of surrender, the actual doing of surrender takes such skill and such trust, a constant recapitulation. I so needed to hear this. So thank you for asking, Amy. This constant recapitulation into the surrendered moment of what arises because your innate vibration is that of light, the white light and the weaving through anything and everything that arises has import. Yada yada. I could go on and on, but it's leading me into this sleepy kind of soporific, pacific again place. And I'm feeling more electricity and excitement for you, Amy, with this energy. So I hope that was helpful, so that you may navigate the chaos from the inside out. There's a simplicity to this message here for you, Amy Bradley. So I truly hope that was helpful there. Truly, truly, truly. So beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You are the spirit guide, Amy Bradley. You, Tat Sat Nam, you are it. Okay, people, I maybe have time for one more, but I think that's about it for today. May you all be blessed. May the blessings come from the inside out. May there be peace. May there be an understanding and a knowing through the chaos. I think of that Mary Oliver poem. I think it's called The Stormy Night, um, where she talks about all the things that grab at you, that grab as you begin to walk your path, when you've said no more to all the things and you begin to walk your own path, other aspects of your manifest life will feel that pull, will feel the tug, and may become threatened. And they will throw guilt bombs at you. They will throw responsibility, the shoulds. The Hierophant card will arise and say, it ought to look like this. In reversed, it ought to look like this. It ought to be this. Why are you going to do your own path? This is what should happen. You have a responsibility to these other people's. The guilt bombs will begin to be slung at us. it's important to say, yes, I connect with inner. I show up as feels right in a responsibility to the light shine that moves through me upon the time space reality flow of my path. That's what comes forward. May you do well through the storms and dark times that may arise for you on your journey. May we navigate well. That's what I have for you today. I'll catch you all on the flip. And look out for the other happenings that come forward, just so you know that when I do an energy session with somebody, what it looks like is you book the session, and as soon as you book it, the energy begins. What I have available now are these 2 sessions. In my Podia, I have a whole bunch of other stuff available. But for the rest of the year, I have these 2 sessions that are that can be heavy hitting, that can be profoundly changing, life changing, if you believe and if you buy in and you go for it. The session begins as soon as you book, and over the course of days and hours, there's one session that I really encourage you to book at least a week ahead because it's a daily practice for me, very intentional. The other one is as the insights arise for me. And then I move into the energy session, and I do in the different astral and causal bodies you have, with your guides, we do the healing. It could be more shamanic. There could be music and drums and dancing. There could be angelic energies. There could be multidimensional energies. I sit and listen and I wait for the session to guide me. Oftentimes, your guides have already been working on you for days, and so they will include me in the session that they've already been doing. Sometimes or usually there's a time capsule, so it will happen within a certain mode. And as we communicate via text messaging, I will let you know when I start and stop. Uh, Although it doesn't matter. That's, the your preference, whoever's receiving their preference of how much they want to consciously be included. I always do a time capsule for it, so the bulk of the healing will happen during what would be considered your sleep state, your uber receptive, uh, state within this incarnation. And then we have a session. We have a booked session where, depending on which session you book, you may get a written report, you may get a video explaining what happened, and we'll get a one on one for about half an hour to an hour session where we unpack, where I report and review the report and we unpack. And that's when more of the reading, the guides may step forward then again to deliver more information, although will report on the information that comes through. So, what happens here with guiding here? This is the closure of the session. Our Zoom or StreamYard meeting, private meeting, happens uh, as a kind of sealing up of the entire session. So it ends there. And then there may be certain elements of what your guides are doing with you that will go on for another couple of hours or days or weeks or months or whatever is happening. So that is specific to you and your energies. Closing up sessions now. Hey, Sandy, I'm just closing up the session now. I'll see you. Um, Replay after I end this, replay what happens. It will totally help you because we spoke directly to overwhelm. So you're right in what's happening in the energies these days. So within a session, that's what it looks like. That's how it goes. So the bulk of the work happens before we even have our face-to-face Zoom meeting. That just closes the deal. So that's how it looks. That's how it looks for me. And there are a few people that have been on the receiving end. Oh, when I do group sessions, that looks different. Uh, the energy's a little bit more general because there's more people in the session. And so I may get specific hits when we meet up. Uh, it's less intense. Well, it's not less intense. Reports say it's not less intense. Um, it's simpler, less specific, less focused energy on from me uh, within this session, within the group session, just because it's a group, and that's not possible. And there'll be general group themes, which has its own kind of awesomeness because once the group energy clicks into a theme, that vibratory quality, everybody vibrating with that theme increases the vibration, which increases the effectiveness for that group, that particular group of people, whether you show up in person for that session or you receive it and you watch it on a replay. You don't watch it at all, just signing up for the group session. You receive the energy. So it's its own kind of efficacy and has its own kind of efficacy and depth to it that looks different from the one-on-one. That's a very different kind of. So it just depends what you need. It depends what you need. All right, everybody. Peace and ease, people. Peace and ease. You got this, and I'll catch you. Let me know if you all would prefer next Friday. I go at night, or if you prefer the morning, or I'm talking East Coast time. I'm thinking of shifting it to late afternoon, evening, so that we have possibility for other people and other things to happen. But let me know if you have a preference. All right. Thanks you guys for listening to all the thing. Here's my thank you. There's my thank you. If that was super effective and you want to buy me a flower or a coffee, go to that link there. I have it someplace else in the feed too. And, throw me a couple bucks if you want. No pressure. No pressure. I really enjoy doing this and getting my feet back under me, really, because I haven't been working with groups in a public arena like this. I haven't for a while. Groups, but not like this. Couple months. So it's been interesting. I'm gonna play the same music. So I'm just gonna give you a long outro. I'll see you on the flip. Let me know what you need. All right. Love and peace and calmness to you.